All right, so continuing on, we're going to go with problem number 5 off the worksheet. We have 7x squared plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. So now our coefficient in front of the x squared is 7. So this is going to change our denominator in the quadratic formula. 4 is in front of x, so our b is positive 4, and our c is going to be a negative 5. All right, so now we put down our quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And now I'm just going to plug a, b, and c, what I have for the values there, into the quadratic formula. So we get x is equal to a negative b, so a negative plus or minus square root of 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 7, and then times a negative 5. And then we put that all over 2a. So a is 7. So I had a couple people turn in some forms where they kept using a 1. And so their denominator was a 2. And so that threw off basically the final answer for the x-intercept. So you have to remember when your coefficient in front of x squared is greater than 1, your denominator is going to be different than 2. All right, so on this one, we're going to get x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared is 16, and that's minus negative 4 times negative 5 gives me a negative 20, and that's times 7, so that gives me 140. But we have a negative times a negative, so that gives us a positive. That is all over 2 times 7, which gives us 14. So now we just we write it again. X is equal to negative 4 plus or minus. The radical is 16 plus 140, so that gives us 156 all over 14. And then my lighting, I apologize. I don't know if I can improve my lighting at all. I got to get a better lamp here. Let's see. There we go. You can zoom in to help you see it more clearly. So on this one, I'm just going to keep going. So if I'm at 156, I want to say, is there a perfect square? So you could stop right here. Turn that in. If you want to practice simplifying radicals, we're just going to keep going. So perfect square that goes into there. I know 4 goes into 156. So x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus square root of 4 times the square root of 39 will give us 156 all over 14. And then we go x is equal to negative 4 plus or minus square root of 4 is 2. Radical 39 all over 14. And again, we could stop here, or we could go and just pull our 2. 2 goes into 14, 2 goes into 4, 2 goes into 2. We could simplify it further, but I think for now, we'll just simplifying radicals. We'll go back to practicing that, but I really want you guys just to understand the quadratic formula. All right, I'm going to move on to number 6.